Hello, it's Myrra, your favorite sales director, and I am here today to teach you some new Makeup 101, 3 different ways to contour. And I think this is really important as somebody who is kind of late to the contour game. I'm in that Gen X, like you don't want to have too much blush from the 70s and early 80s. And then I didn't quite make the Kardashian trend. So I'm like, what is that about? I was resistant to do contouring, but it's the biggest difference that you can make. Right now, I have on foundation, I have on some very light eye makeup and a great lip color because it is a holiday and I want to look good, but I need to not be fussy. So I'm going to start out with the most simple way to contour your face. And the most simple way to contour your face, you don't always have to use a liquid and take 20 minutes to do it, is to use the silky setting powders and translucent powder from the Mary Kay line. So we're going to start with this with a big powder brush and with the cheek brush. So I have on, you can do this on bare skin or you can do this on skin with foundation on it. This is the best if you are low vision, meaning you're middle-aged or better. And sometimes it's hard to see things. I have some ongoing issues with my left eye. You can tell that it doesn't always want to open as much. It's very light sensitive. So what I'm going to start out with is the Silking Setting Powder. And I believe this, hang on, I took off the lid. I believe that this one is deep beige. You can use any tone. You want to basically be using one that is, I think 5 or more shades darker. I also have a medium beige here, and I believe that bronze, any color bronze can be used as well. Now, there's a different way to do this if you have bronze skin, and I will be covering that at a later time. All right, so I've got my, in fact, I'm going to use my angle brush, my cheek brush for this, so I can get a little bit more precision. And I'm going to use my mirror because this is backwards for me. All right, so I'm going to go right underneath the cheekbone and a little bit down underneath that. Can you see how that is? I'm going to do both sides. In fact, I'm going to do all 3 ways on both sides so that you can get a better idea of how this goes. Now, I kind of hit this hard. This is why I like starting with a loose powder because it's a lot more forgiving. And if you're in a rush or you're a beginner, it's easy. Then you take your big brush and you just blend it out. When in doubt, blend it out. So you can see that that created some nice, oh, can you see with my hair? That created some nice contour under my cheekbone. It's catching the natural shape of my face. And when you're looking for where to contour, take your brush or your finger and roll it down. And then you're looking for the divot right underneath your cheeks. Now, your cheeks are sisters. They're not twins. So it's okay if they're slightly different on each side. This is natural. Our face, our human eye actually perceives asymmetry as most beautiful. So let me quickly do a little bit more contouring underneath the jaw. There is a chart that's available on my website, my personal brand website under beauty tutorials and in the Facebook group, and probably on this event that you're watching now, it will be available. And it has a chart that shows by face shape where you should probably be contouring and highlighting. This is different for everyone. So pay attention to that. And I think just be intuitive. Wherever you want things to come out towards you, you want to put a lighter, brighter, more metallic color. Wherever you want things to recede away, you want to do a flesh tone, a darker color on those areas. So flesh tone or greater. All right, this is great. This is nice. And then we'll do a little highlighting. I'm going to use 2 different things. I'm going to use, I already put on some under eye corrector. And if you've been watching my channel, you saw the red lipstick trick that I did in the beginning of, sometime in the beginning of the spring. But the red lipstick trick, I used red stiletto right underneath here. And then I alternated my concealers. if I was doing this just on bare skin, if I was like in Hawaii running out the door or going to the lake or going to the beach on vacation, I would just do what I'm doing now, which is a little bit of under eye corrector, which is a light bright metallic. It has not really metallic, but it has a little bit of a shimmer in it. So it's a light reflector. And I'm going to put that just in my tear ducts. If I didn't already have eye makeup on, I would put it also in this area because I have allergies and I always, no matter if I've gotten 12 hours of sleep or not, I always look like I'm freshly punched in the face without a little bit of makeup on. Okay, so there's a little bit of highlighting. You can do more here and here as need be. Maybe I'll show you a little bit. And you want to go light. A dot is a lot. I'm using one of my eyeshadow brushes from my Essential Brush collection today. There's a number of great brushes you can use for this, including one that's for cream color. I just wanted to keep it super basic for people who are new to all of this and feel a little bit overwhelmed with the tools and the options. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do to highlight, I'm going to use my translucent powder, which is white. When I first heard about white face powder, I'm like, that's the last thing I want. But what translucent powder does is it creates a little bit of a personal soft focus, and it makes it so that you can see how lovely and kind of matted out my skin looks. And this helps. This is going to also visually catch the light as well. So here is your easiest way. That involves 2 kinds of powder and 3 brushes that you already have in your everyday brush kit and a little bit of under eye corrector. So that's my easiest way. My next, the next step up is to use the pressed powders from the Mary Kay line. We're going to use this latte color and this highlighting powder, which is I believe it's the glazed highlighting powder. I use both, so I can't remember their names all the time. So I'm going to use the angle part of my brush, the low part of my angle. And I'm going to go over a little bit more. I'm going to hit this a little bit more. This gives you a little bit more precision with the pressed powders. Loose powder is less precision, less time, less impact. You can see how even though I already highlighted and contoured by using this product, it is giving me a lot more definition. It gets a lot more definition when we start to get to the hairline. And then when you're under your neck, where you put it. See, I do my under neck because I have kind of a short neck, and this helps me get where I need to go. Okay, great. Love it. Love it. Lovely. So we're going to use a peachy tone blush. It's a highlighting powder. I'll get to blush at the very end because contouring and blush are not opposites. They're just enhancements of the same thing. But you can see how this has created a whole second layer of definition. I haven't done really anything that special with my eye makeup. I've used a couple of flesh tone colors and a brown eyeliner and a little bit of mascara and a basic lip color and my foundation. But you can see how this elevates my look. Now, third and finally, and hopefully this is not going to mess me up too bad, but we're going to add in liquids for liquid contour. Now, there's some trends where you can do this on your naked skin before, let it set, and then add your foundation or CC cream over the top. That's a really interesting trend. I haven't investigated it yet, so I don't know that much about it, but I will be. And trust me, I will bring it to you if I feel like it's easy to demonstrate, if it's simple enough to explain. So for your contouring and highlighting with liquid, I'm going to use the deep CC cream to show you this. You can also use any kind of bronze perfecting concealer. And what I'm going to use for this, I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. And maybe we'll try both just to see. Oh, and if you are a bronze skin tone, you're going to be using this light beige color as your lightest color. And you're going to you can also mix it with the under eye corrector. Can you see how the difference? So the perfecting concealer basically is like matte touch-up paint in the Home Depot analogy. So you're going to use that to cover the stain. And the under eye corrector is basically an accent paint. And it's supposed to catch the light. It's supposed to reflect it and make it look brighter. Okay, let's pray. So I've got my blending brush. This is my favorite one for doing liquid contour. And I'm just going to dot, like I said, a dot is a lot. I'm going to draw some battle lines on here. And that's the reason why I don't always recommend liquid concealer for every day or for people who are beginners, because you have to be precise, you have to take your time, and it takes a little bit more work to get this to come off. I think that's maybe one of the things why I'm interested in that trend where you put this underneath your makeup, because it doesn't require quite as much precision. That would give you a lot more room for error. But you can see how even with this blended out, in fact, it's very different on the screen than it is on my face. I went a little bit too, you can see how we went a little too long and how we're not quite blended in the hairline. There are times when I definitely miss my side shave. But even that, so this is even more definition. This creates even more visual depth. And I'm going to take this brush, this cheek brush, and I'm going to really blend this out. So you can see why, you can see the different areas. It is so important. In fact, I was sitting in a meeting with one of Everett's teachers recently, and her contour wasn't quite blended right here. So I ended up staring at her neck almost the entire time. Miss Dickel, if you're watching this, I love you and I'm sorry and you're beautiful. But that's why it's really important to check all the angles, to get in the lighting, because even what I'm seeing when I look in the mirror here is very different than what I'm seeing on camera. When I'm looking here on camera, I can see where I need to blend it out. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I used Deep CC cream. There's also the beige a bronze perfecting concealer that you can use for this. For highlighting, I don't think I need any more because I've now used the under eye corrector. And before that, I used my light ivory perfecting concealer, and I did the red lipstick trick. So, and then I've also used this highlighting powder. I believe it's glazed. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the contouring powder in Latte. There's also a contouring powder in Cocoa for bronze skin or for more deep contour. I just didn't get with that this morning. Okay, so final step is going to be blush. And we did our, hang on, which side am I looking at? We did our highlight right here, and right here, and then right here. And then we did our contour right here, here, and a little bit up here. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole contour your nose thing. That's a little bit more advanced than I want to deal with every day, but there's definitely a lot of things. You can use all of these same products to do the same thing, to play with shape with your lips and your nose. The most bang for the buck you're going to get is freshly foundation skin. Make sure your eyebrows are the shape you want and use whatever products you need to get them there. And then do contouring on your cheeks, around the sides of your faces, and on your neck and jawline, and make sure to blend it in. So I think I'm going to pick a peach blush, because peach fuzz is the color of the year. So I'm going to add just a little bit of bright lightness in the middle here. Wow. Can you tell the difference? That's pretty amazing, especially with as much product as I currently have on. Okay, so that's everything for me. Thanks for watching Makeup 101. Make sure to check out your consultant's website for all of these different products. And you can also use, let's see if I can get this to pull up. You can also use the Mirror Me tool on Mary Kay InTouch to use a Snapchat kind of a filter. Let me show you where this is. Okay, got brushes here. We're going to go to Mirror Me. virtual try-on. And you can use this on your phone or on your computer, depending on where you are shopping from and what you're doing when you watch this video. But you can use the Myrra Me app to do a Snapchat kind of filter that is going to show you with a lot of accuracy what the colors would look like, and you can play with where your placement would be. So that's a great way to try before you buy. So make sure to check that out. My website is www.marykay.com/MyrraD, MYRRAD. And you can also play with this. You can also get this from your app store or your Play Store, depending on what kind of phone you have. That's everything.